Hey guys, in my childhood in India, I used to see street fights for a bucket of potable water. So even at that young age, I had understood that we were one of the privileged few on our street that had ready access to clean water. Of course, there were days when we had to store water in our kitchen and in our bathrooms because the public water supply was restricted to only a few hours a day. But today, I'm not telling you the story of what happened 30 or 40 years ago. I'm telling you the story of children and people who still lack access to clean water, even in 2021. Malawi is a small country in East Africa which is very, very poor and where access to clean water is a luxury. There is a little girl called Irene who is 9 years old who lives with her 27-year-old mom and young siblings. Every day around the world, these are a few of the women and girls in developing countries that walk an average of 6 kilometers for water, which is usually not even drinkable. Irene's mother has to start walking much before dawn. She carries her 1 month old baby tied securely on her back, and the hills are rocky, the valleys are slippery, and it's just a potentially grueling climb, hike for water. And she carries a heavy bucket of water on her head. Sometimes the temperatures are way over 90 degrees, and it's a very difficult hike. It's just not one time that she makes that trip. She ends up making it 3 or 4 times in a day because that is they run out of that bucket of water and they have to keep going back and forth between the water source and their house. So Irene sometimes has to also do the same thing. She'll have to make that trip multiple times. uh, but if you can imagine this, she is 9 years old and she's balancing a bucket of water which is 20 pounds heavy, and she has to also manage trying not to trip and fall because the mom is of course worried about Irene, but the other thing is they cannot afford to break the red plastic bucket on Irene's head. It's they're just so poor that it's like wrecking their family car, if you can imagine. Irene has to walk up and down 3 times a day sometimes, but what she does is she often looks forward to school, which starts at 7:30 in the morning, because believe it or not, school is a respite for her. Okay, so across from that country, if you come back to America, there is a city called Flint in Michigan that came into news in 2014 about its tainted water. We were seeing pictures and videos of residents showing water that was so brown and so tainted it just looked disgusting. So the water is 7 years into that, the water is still not safe to consume, and believe it or not, people families still rely on bottled water to get by their daily needs like brushing their teeth, cooking, bathing, everything. um, it's the city mostly lives like 40% of them live in poverty. The problem started and it came into limelight when people started complaining about it, and they found out later that the city officials had a deficit in budget, because of which they had changed their water source to the Flint River, which was the water was so corrosive and it was leaching the lead into the water, which was going reaching into homes. So I remember there was a picture on Time magazine of a little boy, 2-year-old boy, called Sincere Smith, and he had these blisters and rashes on his face, and it was just so sad to see his picture. There are news. There is news now that a lot of children since 2013, the cases of special needs have increased 56%, and people are still struggling for clean water. Uh, the thing is, it's back in news because the ex Michigan governor is now being charged for a willful neglect of duty in the Flint water crisis. The point is, no matter where these children and these mothers are around the world, uh, even in 2021, potable water is just as precious as silver and gold for many of them. Um, I just like to express my gratitude for, just the basic. It's just so sad that they have to restrict their water use and they can't use it, and it is one of Mother Earth's abundant natural resource, and these people don't even have enough of it to get by. That's just sad. So just be grateful, guys, and we are all just a privileged few who have access to clean drinking water. Thank you.